All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Variant Roles. I am your host and game master for this evening, Dan Gaston at MadSciDM on Twitter, and we are here to play some Bleeding Edge Invisible Sun with my friends, and I'm going to go around and let them introduce themselves and introduce the character they are going to play tonight. So, Cypher System is a game from Monty Cook Games. This is MCG Mixtape, where we play nothing but Monty Cook Games content of one form or another. And Cypher System is a game about discovery, which is what it rewards. And in this science fiction setting, we will be exploring some strange and unusual place to play and find out what happens. So let's see who our characters are in this near to mid-future science fiction game of transhumanism. And I'm going to start with the one person over on my side of the screen with Val. Val, how are you doing today?
Hey, that's me. I'm Matthew W. Foreman at Matthew W. Foreman. Every time.
Hashtag copyright violation.
Right.
We are all copies of Matthew Foreman.
Look, if we could clone Matthew and I'll stick him in every one of these spots, that'd
God,
be a great game.
imagine the chaos.
It's just Variant Matthew.
We should make like little paper masks.
Yeah.
Yes. It comes on. Don't acknowledge that we're wearing the masks for at least 20 minutes.
That's right.
Hi everybody, I'm Val. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight when I am not playing Matthew Foreman, I am playing Nova, who is a doomed technological warrior who travels through time and also uses she, her pronouns.
Excellent. Oh yes, and I use he, him pronouns. And that's excellent. So now we will kick it over to the right-hand side of the screen and start at the top with Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle, she, her pronouns, and I will be playing tonight Moira, who is an inquisitive technology adept who conducts weird science. She also uses she, her pronouns.
Excellent, great. And Sam.
Hi there, I'm Sam, I use he, him pronouns, and I shall be playing Septium UL, who also uses he, him pronouns. He's a calm speaker with technology who operates undercover. And I will just say, if you saw me last time on Bleeding Edge, you might recognize him somewhat.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and last but not least, we have Alex.
Hey everybody, I'm Alex. I'm missing my better half on the other side of this overlay here. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm Alex. I use he, they pronouns, and tonight I am playing Paris, who was just recently renamed from Sneaky Speaky, because I just picked that name 5 minutes ago. So Paris is a stealthy speaker who infiltrates, and they use they, them pronouns.
Excellent, great. All right, so we are in a transhumanist science fiction universe. We are playing inside our own solar system for this game. Occasionally we play outside. And you all work for various companies and things across human space. But you all have a secret employer, which is Project Watchtower, which is sort of a secret society set out to safeguard humanity from existential threats. And chief among them is their eye on one of the largest corporations in human space, Monolith Systems, who is like Apple and Amazon and Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and who knows who else all rolled up into one giant conglomeration. And they get up to lots of nasty stuff. But today, you have been... Yeah, that's right, chat. It's Wayland Yutani, and they're awful and evil. But today, you have been sent out to investigate a very unusual appearance indeed on Titan, one of the moons of the solar system, a crystalline structure of some sort has begun to appear, seemingly out of nowhere. It's phased in and out of existence. And the cycle seems to have something to do with some celestial motion within the solar system, but no one is quite sure exactly what that is. So you have been sent to investigate, and you will be the first to enter it. So for tonight's game, it's heavy on the improv. We run a fairly tight 2.5 hours, hopefully 2, so we can kick off before Critical Role starts, so people go to watch that. But we are going to use Explorer's Keys, which is a new product just released from Monty Cook Games. It's a group of 10 very low prep adventures written in a very improvisational friendly style. And so tonight we are playing through the very first adventure out of that book, because why not just go to the first thing you turn to, called Embassy of the Inconstant Moon, just with some tweaks here and there to make it my own and to make it fit within this setting. So first, let's find out a little bit more about our characters. So we got quite a motley crew here. So why don't we learn a little bit more about them, what they look like, and what brought them on this job specifically. So Project Watchtower often just puts out a call, and you can sign up as you will, whether it's for money or fame or glory, or perhaps for connections with one of your fellow characters. So why don't we start? We've got some returning characters, so why don't we start with Val?
Oh, hey, that's me. No, we're not doing that again.
We're not doing that again.
I'm playing Matthew Ford. No, I'm playing Nova. Nova is she is an ex-pro spaceball player, which is the space version of baseball. She carries around a bat that she's retrofitted to be mechanically more powerful, so that when she boops people, it hurts more. And she is part of a possible program with another one of my characters, 13, and Jaden Rinzo, who were possibly manufactured to be assassins, but there's nothing been proven about that. She has bright pink hair and just the baseball cap down over her, like the leather jacket with all the patches on it. And she has taken this job because ever since the last one, where they blew up a building, Nevda, who was in the building at the time, told her to go look for his copy. So she's been taking job after job and like staring intently at people's faces, trying to figure out which one Nevda is, because she has to return his stuff.
Excellent. Well, so that's a good segue over to Sam and Septim.
Yes.
Because Septim is indeed one of Nevda's copies, correct?
Well, it depends if you view Nevda as the original or not, or if he is just a copy as well. But indeed, Septim is the 7th in line, Nevda was 6th. And after Nevda decided that he had to retire himself, that he'd become a bit too prolific, after one of his members of the group kept posting about him on social medias, he decided to jump into the new body, that of Septim. And Septim looks like this, essentially. He permanently wears sunglasses, even if he has no reason to. He has the waistcoat, the dress shirt, and the tie, 2 buttons always undone, never 1, always 2, and the tie always slightly loose as well. He tends to carry with himself old pistols. He doesn't like using energy weapons, as it were. He prefers the more personal nature of an actual slug. And he's been operating with the Watchtower because a Uriel must always be in the universe operating, and Watchtower simply gives them access to the information they desire.
Excellent. All right. So what about Moira? What brings Moira to this particular mission and Project Watchtower?
So I think Moira was previously a scientist for Monolith and got in a little bit over her head, decided that it was a little bit too morally ambiguous even for her, and backed out and has gone looking for a different place where she can contribute with her skills. So that makes this Project Watchtower a good fit, and this particular mission as well, because it sounds like it is very science based, and it is, exploring new things, gathering new knowledge is definitely the sort of thing that she gravitates towards. As far as appearance, she has short cropped purple hair. She wears all black for the most part, except for her lab coat, which is always either on her or at least somewhere nearby.
Okay, excellent. Well, those are much better reasons than, you left Monolith because your grants ran out and you were denied tenure, so...
Oh my god.
I considered that.
I played this game to escape, Dan.
Excellent. All right, and so what about Paris? What brings Paris to Project Watchtower, and specifically this mission?
So Paris, that is not their real name, works with Watchtower because, they'll generally help you get out of jail for minor offenses. And occasionally that leads up to you compile debts that bring you out into space with unusual moons. Paris is entirely not sure why they're going to Titan's moon of Jupiter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not entirely sure why they're going to a moon of Jupiter to look at some weird crystal tower, but they're as down for it as they have to be, considering that the alternative is getting arrested. Super cool looking. Also leather jacket. Got the cool undercut hair up to one side. Honestly, kind of like Val's hair, but black. Yeah, and they carry a pistol, a knife, and a roll of duct tape.
Excellent.
That roll of duct tape. I'm gonna do it.
I love it. Well, duct tape, solves every problem, right? There was a whole TV show on for a long time here in Canada, like this satirical comedy show called The Red Green Show, where the character was like an inept handyman who pretty much exclusively used duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his tagline was something like, if the ladies don't find you handsome, at least they'll find you handy. Something super cheesy. It's yeah. It's real bad, but there's a huge thing for duct tape in it. All right. Okay. So your shuttle has set down outside of the tower. The structure. So it's pretty strange and appears to be made out of twisted metal and crystal. And it's appeared at various times on some as yet undetermined cycle, as it sort of phases in and out and seems to be in existence for about 24 hours or so at a time. 24 Earth hours. And you have sort of set down outside a pretty apparent entryway. There's a tubular structure made of this like whorled material. So it looks like steel that's have this like strange nautilus shell kind of polish to it. And that appears to be the entrance. It's the only sort of how would I say it? Unique, distinguishing feature at the base of this structure. And you can assume that you have access to, suits and all that typical kind of gear that you would need. So what do you do?
As we're flying down in the shuttle, Nova's just gonna have a tail end of a conversation with Septium. Like, so explain to me one more time. Are you Nevda or are you not Nevda? Am I Nevda? Or is everybody Nevda? I do. What?
At the very least, I can assure you of two things, though. You are not Nevda, nor is
Okay.
everyone else Nevda.
Okay.
As for if I am Nevda, well, I'll leave that to you to puzzle out, but there are certain similarities between the two of us.
She like fishes in her pocket, pulls out a data pad, and you just see her scribble something on it, and it just says suspicion, and then puts it back in.
To put it quite simply, Nova, each copy does have their experiences. I remember all of Nevda's, but I am not Nevda. I will experience things differently than he did. For example, I'm not doing that foolish, foppish voice that he used to convince people he was so innocent and harmless. No, why would I lower myself like that?
You are like a fancier version of Nevda. Like Nevda kind of looked like he'd kind of crawled out of a bush, and you have a waistcoat on, which means you're fancy.
I will take that compliment. I mean, I'm not also doing the, that is fine, the stuttering voice that he always did. That choice never made sense to me.
I was gonna say this whole thing was really weird. Then I remembered I travel through time and we're in a spaceship right now, so YOLO!
Indeed, YOLO.
I'm glad YOLO has lasted into the far future.
Just wait till someone busts out eat, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the last one like finished on yeet.
Yes. Paris is just kind of standing there watching this. You know, I'm sorry. Am I missing something? What's a Nevda?
If you see him, but he looks dirtier and slightly charred, I think that's a Nevda. If you see him and he doesn't look dirty or charred, that's a Septium.
To put it simply, Paris, without stalling on a long time about this, think of it as a past life. One that got useless and had to be removed.
I'm gonna lean over to Paris and go, I think he's a clone.
Yeah, Moira looks up from like a data pad in the corner that she's just sort of been taking notes on this whole time and says, definitely sounds like a clone, yes.
How dare you? I am more than a clone.
I didn't say it's that
pedestrian. Oh, it is very pedestrian, though. A clone of all things. That's so simple.
Is Septum walking around the ship? It's like a drink. I like it.
Yeah, he is.
Just pinky out, drinking this.
Half in the bag and just like...
It's so pedestrian.
If humanity is still self-destructing in the far future, like I know they will be, Paris is enjoying this last few moments of having easily accessible air by having a cigarette next to one of the vents. So it's not to bug anybody, so it's all getting filtered out, but also to self-destruct.
Well, at least he's not vaping, so...
Yeah, not vaping.
Alright. So outside the ship, you've kind of landed as close as you could safely get. Just sort of this small tubular protrusion comes out from the base of the structure, made of some strange metal and crystalline substance. And it has, not necessarily an obvious door, but it's like there's a flat face, right? So, on this structure.
I sort of nudge Moira. Any ideas, Doc?
Well, it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah, me neither.
If I can get a little bit closer, I might be able to do something.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say, lead the way, Doctor.
Do we have like suits?
Yeah, you can assume that, pretty much any generic basic equipment that you could want, you have access to.
Okay.
including environment spacesuits.
So in that case, I will go suit up and look back at the others. And I recommend we all dress for the occasion.
Shopping montage.
Fashionable spacesuit.
You pull out a thing and they're like all identical. It's just a whole bunch of like super generic spacesuits.
We come out in the same suit and everyone's like, no, yes. I will follow Moira in getting suited up and just stand next to her.
Okay.
I will go, I
Perfect.
guess, stand at like whatever airlock we have and wait
Yep.
for everyone else to. And once everyone is finished suiting up, I'll open the airlock.
Okay.
That's
All right. So you all sort of cycle through and go out, make your way to this structure, and it towers above you. And the tubular structure kind of juts out probably about 30 or 40 feet from the base of the structure and has this relatively smooth, crystal flat face with this whorled pattern on it. But there is a protrusion. It doesn't look like any sort of human technology, but there is a protrusion on the side with what look almost like places where you could, it has the look of a sort of control panel of some kind.
all right. Well, then I will lead us toward that control panel.
All right.
That seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, so you examine it, it's just one of those things, like, you've got enough training that it's like, that looks like a control panel, but it's sort of just like little crystal protrusions, it looks like it can be manipulated in some fashion.
Okay, so I think what I would like to do, so I have an ability called Scan.
Okay.
I can scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures within that area. It always reveals its level, and you learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter or energy in that area.
Okay, excellent. All right, so you can spend the intellect points to activate that ability.
So I have an edge of 1, and it's 1 intellect points.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so it's one of those, it costs 1, but you subtract 1 off because of your edge, so it costs you 0. This is you pull out sort of a device and scan the surroundings, almost like a little tricorder sort of thing. And it's indeed, you can see energy readings and like fluctuating through, sort of diffusing out of this control panel and going into the structure itself and into this flat crystal area. And so its level is 4.
Okay.
So basically operating it is a level 4 difficulty in terms of the challenge. And it does indeed appear to be a simple like control apparatus for controlling like an airlock.
Okay, so I'll look back at the rest of the group and be like, I think this is the airlock. Does anyone have any particular technological skill other than me?
Allow me to give it a try, Doctor, if you don't mind.
By all means.
I've got to flex my abilities somewhat. And I'm going to try and use the hacker ability I have. Gain access to a piece of information in a computer or some device, or access one of its primary functions for 2 intellect.
Okay. All right. So I use the hacking a little bit different in this because to have it just cost like 1 or 2 intellect points to basically do anything in a sci-fi setting doesn't work so well. But the question is, I mean, it's just a crystal control apparatus, right? So it's basically just like a numpad, right?
I'll still try and do the hacking if it's possible, if there's a goal for it. Just because
you can certainly try. If you want to spend the ability, I'll treat it as an asset.
Okay. I'll do
so that will reduce the difficulty by 1 step to 3. and it's basically an intellect task, so it's a level 3 intellect task. So that will equate to a challenge target number of 9 or higher, and you can spend effort from intellect if you wish.
If I'm trained in accessing computers, would that lower it for the step?
This is not really. I'm not going to consider this a computer per se. It's just a control interface.
Gotcha. I just thought
It's connected to computers, but it's not really a computer system.
Makes sense. Okay, I'll try that and I'll give it a go.
Okay. Are you spending any edge or effort?
No, I'll just do.
Okay. Okay.
And then I say 12.
Okay. So you basically start poking around in it, jimmy some of the crystals around, and sort of punch in. A sequence lights up, and you punch it in, and the crystal starts turning clear, and then starts turning from a solid into a liquid state, and sort of drips and runs down in rivulets until it puddles down around the bottom, revealing an opening with another door, so forming very clearly an airlock.
Fascinating. And you see, I'm taking notes on my data pad, I'm gonna write a report about this later.
Backing up a little bit, having noted that Nova raised her hand and then Septon sort of bumbled in, Paris is going to sort of nudge Nova. Men.
Just got you just see Nova just pull up a little fist, do a fist bump. And she's also taking notes, but she's looking at Septum can hack things. Wears sunglasses? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Indoors? Question mark?
I just think of the Corey Hart song. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Right? Oh my god.
I like to think we've had this conversation outside this airlock for 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, I'm on the ground, scooping up a sample of this, whatever it is, putting it in a jar. I'm gonna take this with me later to study there.
Okay.
Nova's gonna walk in the airlock.
Yeah, I'll go in as well.
Same.
I'll follow suit.
Okay. So the control pad at the other end is really similar. Basically, you probably figured out enough from poking around at the first one that on the second one you can essentially just operate it.
I'm just gonna I'll go back into my accent because Techno's Gold Cthulhu Uncle pointed out that I had dropped it. Nova's gonna go up to the console and just go dink with her bat. But there's a tiny little thing, cord that comes out of it and connects to the console. I just really, really wanted to hit it with my bat.
Excellent. All right. Crack it. After punching some stuff in. And so the first door sort of reforms, basically where it was puddled down on the ground. This charge, and you can sort of all feel this little bit of electric charge, causes it to start re-solidifying and moving upwards and resealing. And after it does, and sort of the air cycles through, the door on the inside melts. And seems to reveal basically a large entryway of some kind.
Did the sample I took re-solidify? Out of curiosity?
It did not.
Ooh.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's still in this viscous state. It's not a runny liquid. It's sort of that when you get I forget what it's called, but it's that liquid they make that's highly magnetic. It's full of the iron particles. It's like that. It runs almost like molasses, quite slow.
if anyone has seen Beyond the Wall, anytime molasses comes up, the song from Beyond the Wall, potatoes and molasses, just always comes in my brain.
And yes, thanks to Anything Arax for pointing out that's a ferrofluid in chat.
All right, well, I will go ahead and step into this entryway, leading the way again, I guess. Is there anything in here that looks like other doorways or?
So when you step across the threshold and into the entryway, there's a noticeable shift in the force of gravity. I don't recall offhand exactly how big and how many G's the Titan is. Someone can always look that up for me. But it shifts to, and probably most of you have experienced this, it feels like Luna. Like, it shifts to 1/6 G, which is the gravitational force of our moon orbiting Earth. And when you look up, it sort of rises in this like tower kind of structure, and the top is opaque, and the walls are kind of translucent, so you can sort of vaguely see outside. And when you look through the walls, and sort of as you step across the threshold, this change becomes simultaneous for everybody, so including anybody still in the airlock. When you look out behind, you can see just faintly through the outer wall of the structure, and you can just see a gray, dusty, flat plain. And when you look up the tower, you can see Earth. But the continents that you can see look strange. They look different. Like in a different arrangement.
So is it recognizably Earth? Or
it's recognizably Earth. Like you can see some coastlines that look familiar. The color's a little bit different, but it's there's greens and blues. It's recognizably Earth or something very close to it. If you would like to identify this or gain some more information, I'm going to say this is probably about a level 3 difficulty intellect task.
Okay.
And if you have any skills related to, I don't know, like geology or something like that, they might come into play.
No, I don't. But I will go ahead and make the attempt. That's
sure,
like
absolutely.
9, right?
Yeah, so it's a target number of 9. You can spend effort if you want, so you can spend 3 points minus your edge, so 2. Out of your intellect pool, which will also reduce it in difficulty by 1 step. So it would become difficulty level 2, so then you only need a 6 or higher.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and reduce the difficulty by 1 by spending.
Okay, great.
So, of course, a natural 1.
Okay, so...
Geography is not what I do.
No, yeah, you're completely flummoxed. You're like, it looks like Earth, but is someone like rearranged the plates and the continents are all in the wrong order, and there's just bits and pieces that you can recognize. And as you're sort of staring, basically kind of captivated at this Earth-like sort of structure, I'm assuming everyone else has sort of entered the room. The walls noticeably ripple. So these crystal walls on the outside of this structure just noticeably ripple and writhe with this like pulse. And this low hum sort of rises.
We've been here for 5 minutes and we already broke it.
Oh, I don't think we broke it. I hope.
Did we wake up Space Cthulhu?
Do we see any tentacles?
Tentacles down.
You look around and don't see any tentacles. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But so there were like you could see sort of the main room you're in, sort of behind you and around you. You could see sort of outside. There were some walls that are more definitely interior walls to this structure, and a few areas that were kind of had these like flat surfaces. The crystal that makes them up, similarly to the airlock, like melts and runs down to the floor, revealing several passages. There's like 3 different passages, sort of east, west, and north, we'll say, basically, right? Like straight ahead and left and right, that leave this large chamber.
Paris is still thinking about the Cthulhu thing. Like, isn't Space Cthulhu regular Cthulhu?
Yes.
Lost in thought.
They just get into a debate about, so is there a difference between Space Cthulhu and Sea Cthulhu? Is Cthulhu everywhere? Has anything else in the room changed aside from the walls?
No, just the walls and the hum, of course, that has come up that you're sort of hearing, but that's about it.
Is there any way to figure out where the hum is coming from?
Sure. I'd say this is, let's just say it's a level 2 difficulty. And if you have any skills related, this will be intellect. You can spend effort if you have any skills related to like perception or sharp hearing or anything like that.
I have proficiency in perception tasks because I'm doomed. Yay!
Excellent. So that's 2, and it reduces it to a 1. And if you spend effort, that'll reduce it to 0, and you don't need to roll.
It's okay. Most of my time moves intellect, and I have a small pool of intellect.
Fair.
17!
I mean, you do have some... Excellent, 17. So, yes, absolutely. The hum is coming from the entryway straight, like, it's coming out of the tunnel that's, like, directly across this entryway.
I'm gonna go to Moira and just point and go, Space Cthulhu is coming from there.
All right. And yeah, I'll go ahead and head toward that passage on that tip.
Adventure.
Close eye out for Space Cthulhu, but mainly anything that looks like something that could tell me more about what this structure is.
Sure. And what about Septum in Paris?
As I'm heading out, do I notice anything small, takeable, then seemingly valuable?
So, in this area, not really. It's pretty empty. Yeah. Like, it's sort of just, it's a smooth, polished crystal floor. The walls have this, like, metal and crystal twisted structure. And the floor is almost too clean. Like, there's no dust on it, nothing.
Then I will follow and keep my eyes out for things to pocket.
Before I follow suit, out of curiosity, do we have anything to? Because I assume we're still in the spacesuits. Do we have anything to kind of, like a better word, scan the air around us to tell it would be optimal environment to be outside of the suit?
Absolutely. You definitely, the suit would have like environmental sensors and readings. It's like an environmental suit. You have pretty quick access to like typical readings. Like it's essentially a level 0 or level 1 at best difficulty. Like you've got like a heads up display that gives, O2 and various other things, and can operate through that pretty quickly. And if you wanted more detailed environmental scans, that would just be an intellect task. Like you have the equipment, but you need to interpret it and operate it.
I'll have a go at doing a more detailed scan, just in case there's
Okay.
anything like harmful in the air or something like that.
Sure. So let's say that a real detailed scan is a level 3 difficulty, and your sensors count as an asset, so they reduce the difficulty 1 step. So you're looking at a level 2.
How much is edge again? Remind me.
Effort. So
Effort,
spending effort. So spending the first level of effort, and you can only spend 1 level as a tier 1 character, is 3 points.
Okay.
And if you have an edge, your edge subtracts off of the cost of any spending you're doing.
I'll apply 1 level of effort then.
Okay, so you can spend 3 points out of your intellect pool.
Yep. That drops it to
Right.
what would be level
So
1.
That drops it to a level 1, so you only need 3 or higher.
Okay. Which is good because I got a 4.
Excellent. All right. Doesn't appear to be any known toxins. It's doing like sampling. It doesn't appear to be any like known bacteria or anything. And the levels are like Earth normal. Maybe a little bit high on the oxygen content, but not out of whack for an artificial station.
Probably safe to actually move the suit then.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I'll as the group is going forward, just say, if you're finding this suit a bit uncomfortable, like I admittedly am, the atmospheric levels seem to be pretty fine, no airborne viruses or infectants from what can be detected, so if you wish to remove the suit, it seems perfectly fine to do so. And I'm taking off at least the headgear.
Yeah, you could take off the headgear, and there's probably like a little hook that you can hang it on, so it just like dangles off your belt.
Readjusting glasses as I do so.
I like to think that if you ever take off your spacesuit, you do it anime style in one go. There's like a sparkling background, and you're just like, sit down.
Then he's got a James Bond tux underneath.
Oh, and for its worth, and if possible, now that I don't have the headgear in the way, starting to record everything around me through the glasses.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
And then
so
following after.
Okay. And Paris, you were just you were checking around and following. Okay. So you enter a pretty short tunnel. Not tunnel. It's like a hallway, basically. Twists and turns. There's like some pretty empty looking rooms that you look through. They don't seem to have anything. You can see where there's possibly like equipment and like whatever else that kind of juts out of the walls, but otherwise empty and not where the hum is coming from. And you follow through, and in this this room, sort of at the end of the hallway, small kind of circular room, there is a crystal formation growing out of the floor that resembles almost like a plant. Like it spirals around with like a twisted stalk that's wrapped in a double helix type structure, and there's these protrusions that come off almost like leaves, and terminating in this like crystalline flower-like head, almost like a chrysanthemum, like this big round sort of globular structure, but made out of faceted and cut crystals, with little crystalline tendrils that come out that are just like waving softly, and as they wave in the air, it seems to be what's producing this humming sound. And you can see like light sort of tinkling and moving and shifting along its surfaces, and as you look at it, it almost looks like moving images.
Can I use anticipation? Which, as part of my travel through time, look ahead to see your actions might unfold. You have an asset for the first task you perform before the end of the next round.
Okay.
And I am going to go over and look at that thing.
Okay, excellent. So you can inspect it. I am going to say that this is a level 4. So it's a level 4 task. It's basically like a level 4 object that you're inspecting. So you've got an asset because of your shift, so you can spend your, I guess, intellect points for that. As your awareness kind of precognitively shifts forward a few seconds in time, and you kind of watch yourself interacting with this object. And so you've got an asset, reduces it to a 3. Would you like to spend any effort?
Would this count under perception?
It depends. Like, what kind of information are you trying to get out of this examination?
Trying to figure out what the moving pictures are.
Yeah, so it's more of a, like, investigation type, like, interpretation, as opposed to, like, being aware of danger.
Then I will spend my points.
Alright. So you can spend 3, reduced by any edge.
So,
So that'll bring it down to a level 2, so you're only needing a 6 or higher.
18!
Excellent. Alright. So you're looking at them, and you quickly actually see images of yourselves entering the room. Like, play over. And you see images of yourselves appearing, entering the structure itself, play across. And you also see an image of a large, almost ape-like creature moving around that has these, like, metal implants embedded in its flesh. And you just see these images repeating on loops and moving through the crystal structure.
Smart doctor?
Also, Val, I have to ask you,
Uh-oh.
when you're inspecting this, like, how do you inspect it? Are you just looking at it? Do you touch it?
Oh, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna look at the tendril. I'm going to, like, try and be friendly with the tendril. I'm gonna lick the tendril because you can never be too careful. It tastes of metal and regret. And you just see at the corner of your eye, like, there's this tiny, tiny little port, like, on the center of her wrist. And she kind of just poops out a little, like, tendril of her own and, like, lifts it up to try and examine it.
So, as you, like, begin interacting with it, when you sort of, like, touch it and, like, lick it, and then go to, like, pull away, your fingers and tongue are stuck. And when you go to shift your feet on the floor, your feet don't move. They're stuck to the crystal floor.
Smart doctor lady, we have a slight problem.
I'll say we have a slight problem. Yes, you're stuck, are you not?
I've got it under control, but there's a gorilla walking around and it's metal.
Does anybody have any hot water?
No.
Not on me, unfortunately.
Not on me.
No.
I mean, I have my lab kit. I could perhaps make some hot water.
Thank you.
But I think have we seen, like, do we hear this gorilla, or, like, have we seen anything? Are we?
Nope, you have not.
Room?
So I mean, other than this crystal plant type structure is the only thing that's in the room, and you see different images. So you see the ape in, like, apparently different rooms, just as you see images of yourself, like, walking down the hallway. It's almost like it's playing back, like, security footage almost, or, like, surveillance.
Okay. I'll go ahead and get out my lab kit, which I assume probably includes a Bunsen burner, and try to heat some hot water to see if we can get her unstuck.
So pouring that doesn't appear to do anything. She doesn't appear to be, like, it's not like a frozen type thing. It's not cold. In fact, the crystal that you're touching is warm, Val. The hum has increased noticeably when she became stuck to it.
It's alright, the cold never bothered me anyway.
Assuming I probably have a random item in my pockets, it's just random junk that accumulates. Could I try touching this to the crystal? Just to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, are you going to pull out, like, an inorganic, inanimate object, like a piece of technology, like
I think
the equivalent of poking it with a stick?
Yeah, something inorganic at first.
Yeah, not like you've got a live mouse or something hidden in your pocket.
I mean, I might, but I'm not pulling it out in this case.
Okay. Yeah, so you poke it, and it doesn't seem to do anything. Yes, that's right, the 10-foot pole.
I'm gonna do something really weird. I feel like this is well outside the bounds of what a normal person would do, but YOLO. So, let's see, what do I have to do this on? Can I, like, it's gonna be really bad, I'm so sorry. Can I, like, spit on my knife and hold that up and see what happens?
Yes. So you spit on your knife.
It's organic, so let's see what happens.
Oh, okay. And then sort of like...
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay, I like this. Yes, so you do that, and then when you go to pull the knife away, the knife is stuck.
Ah, motherfucker.
That's not
Boris, quick question. If you try really hard to pull that knife away, can you actually tear it off?
No! No!
Is it like, could I grab the handle without touching the crystal itself?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess can I attempt to yank it off?
You can. I'm just gonna tell you, like, basically in the interest of like an open roll, it's physically impossible for you to pull hard enough to remove it.
Gotcha.
It's
I
like
didn't have very
above a
much-
level 10 challenge.
Yeah, I didn't have very much might to begin with, so I give it a good
Yeah.
yank, turn to septum. No.
Can I?
Good news, Nova. You won't be torn away and lose your tongue. So at least there's that. Always look on the bright side and all that.
Hooray!
That's true.
I mean,
Moira?
my next suggestion was going to be to cut off the tongue. I mean, you know.
No!
Let's hold on. to that for a
Also,
moment.
she's got like some fingers, and her feet are like apparently glued, like stuck to the floor too.
No!
Hold on that
I
for a
mean,
moment.
you keep most of these, like 95%.
Can I use my scan ability on this flower thing as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so you scan it. The level of the object is not actually particularly high. So like, you know, the metagame, it's like a level 2 object kind of thing. It's not a big challenge. It does have energy coursing through it. It seems to be connected to the rest of this installation. Like you pick up these energy signatures flowing through, not cabling, but like hidden channels in the crystal that act like cable, essentially. That's carrying data and power back and forth. And probably the most interesting thing is it's giving off this energy field that induces molecular bonding. So right now, the knife and Nova are fused to the crystal at the molecular level, like at their interface.
All right. So I know we were focused on good news, but bad news. Counterpoint. You are attached at the molecular level to this thing.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So I think we need to find a way to turn it off.
That'll be good.
It seems to also, yeah, this is something I missed, sorry Moira, along with its like various energy fields, it seems to have some sensing, like it's got, it discriminated between like living and non-living material, and it seems to, through this like molecular bond and its sensors, it is basically sensing Nova. Like it's monitoring her vitals, essentially.
When Nova got up to the thing and when I held out my knife, were these things pulled through the air to get
No.
to the... Okay, so just on
No.
contact.
Just on contact.
Okay.
Could I try something that potentially would work, but why the hell not? Speak to Septium's nature and also the UL's family nature. They exist mainly as just a mind. Their body is artificially created, more electronic than biological at this point. Would it be possible for him to try and mentally interface with this crystal? You said there's like data flowing through. Could he try and
You could
give it
try.
a shot?
I mean, you don't know if it's sentient or anything.
Yeah, could he try and give it a shot at least, see if anything works? Try and interface
Absolutely.
with that data.
Question is, how are you interfacing with it, and are you touching it in the process?
Oh, can I show him where like I saw with my scan ability, like where I saw the data conduits that are moving?
Yeah, they're pretty deep inside the crystal.
Okay. Well, I'll point them out anyway, just in case.
Yeah. There's no obvious port to jack into.
Well, I'll be entirely honest. I'm not exactly overly attached to this hand, so if it turns out I can't be removed, just remove the hand. I'll touch it and basically use that hacking ability. And I'll
Okay.
set and trigger this.
Okay. So go ahead and spend the intellect. You do become molecularly bonded with the crystal. Both your hand and your feet. Like your feet become bonded to the floor because like the crystal, right? And your hacking ability basically, it's an alien system, so interpreting it is another matter. But you get access to the data stream. It doesn't appear to be sentient, it just appears to be a device.
Could I try and turn off essentially that field that you said is causing this molecular bonding?
You could try. That is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, I assume.
So that's going to start out at like an 8.
Okay. So trying to reduce it 2 steps to even make it possible.
Yeah.
Let's see. I assume accessing computers won't have an effect here.
No, that's a skill, so that reduces it. Yep, from an 8 to a 7.
That's by 1. Does that the hacking ability reduce it?
Not in this case, because this is more like that got you access.
Mm-hmm. I have finding information. Would trying to find the specific data stream, as it were, so it's only focusing on this one system.
Sure. Yep. Okay.
So that'll get it down
so
to
you're at a
6.
6.
And
you can spend effort.
Let's get it down to a 5.
All right. So that's down to a 5. So 15 or better.
Yep, and that's all I can do. So I'll give this a shot. I mean, I didn't really expect it to work anyway, so if it works, all the better. So that's actually a 19.
Okay, all right.
It works.
Yeah. That would be a major effect in. Yes, no, that actually is a major effect. So
I can't believe that works, to be honest.
So you managed to access it. You're plugging away. I mean, it's mostly gibberish, but you're just like, I don't know, this is kind of the right color or something. Yeah. And it manages to turn off the field. It's like the knife falls to the floor and you can feel yourself unstick from it, and Nova suddenly is unstuck. And it sort of the hum changes in pitch and then starts like cycling through like various frequencies as if it is talking.
I'm gonna get my knife back.
The knife. What about the knife, though?
So I will be entirely honest to you all. I had no idea that would actually work. That's a bit of a surprise. I was more than willing to sacrifice my hands and feet, but
I was not.
well, I mean, that's you and I'm me, so. Besides, this is just a vessel. It's useless, really.
This is my only vessel.
Back up a sec. How did you expect me to cut off your hand if my knife was up there?
Oh, I
Yep.
have one in my boot.
Oh, good. I was going to say,
It's
otherwise
always
you
best to have some
fight.
weapon.
This is just that knife group part 2. Can I try and figure out what the tendrils could be saying? Trying to decipher the frequency.
Sure. So they start, cycling through various things, and so you're listening to tune in, and I'd say like this is, it's interpreting essentially an alien language of modulated frequencies. So this will be like a level. We'll start it out as like a level 7, so it's just on the borderline of impossible without skills and effort.
No, that's only intellect defense. Single is just trying to intellect defense and speak. I'm good at defending. I could have.
And someone can help you if they have an applicable.
I
They can help you in general, and if they also have any applicable skills. So in this case, perhaps like Moira or Paris have something.
I have an idea. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Vivens.
I have an idea. If this thing is talking, this probably is not true, but does this count as a creature?
Potentially. Something is talking. It might not be the plant. It could be a creature communicating through the plant.
Then I'm going to try using my enthrall ability and see what happens there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so you can spend the points for that.
I've got the edge in intellect, so.
Okay. Yeah, and so it costs 1. So yeah. All right.
I'm just gonna walk up like reasonably close, but far enough away that I'm like not touching it. I'm just gonna start like talking, and like every like 5 to 7 words, I just switch languages and cycle through about 7 or 8 different languages as I'm just rapidly talking at the thing.
Okay, so I'm going to treat this as an asset that will apply to Nova.
Can we all?
It goes from a 7 to a 6. Well, the amount you can get is limited. You can get like 2 things to help you here.
Okay.
So I wanted to see if Moira had any ideas just to like spread out who's doing what.
Sure. So I have a couple ideas, and you can tell me what seems like it would work. So I also have the hacker ability. So if I can get out like find a way to plug in some fashion to this thing with something. I also am trained in machinery here. I don't know if that would help at all, but you said it was like talking in like vibrations and oscillations. So maybe like helping with pattern analysis. And then the other thing that maybe would help, I guess, I also have the tinker ability, so I can make a device do something different from its original purpose. So if I could use that in some fashion to translate the frequencies into something that's easier for us to understand, preferably words, but like numbers, something.
Yeah, so I like that angle. I think like you've got all kinds of bits and pieces of equipment, right? Sensors and stuff. So using your tinker ability to tinker something that is like essentially a mic, right? Because like when you're in the suit and you need to hear what's like going on in the environment, so there would be like little environmental pickup mics or something. So and there's some computer equipment. So tinkering with those to like sort of modulate the frequencies in a different fashion.
So you see like me grabbing like bits and bobs from like I like probably steal something off of somebody's spacesuit and like have like a dozen different screwdrivers and
you just like reach out and like rip an antenna off someone's suit and like jury rig it in. Okay, so so you can spend the points for that to use your tinker ability.
Cool.
And that'll be a second asset. So that sort of maxes out the assets that Nova can get.
And how much is it going to cost now?
So it's down to a 5. So you need a 15 or higher. You can spend effort. Remember, you've got some quick recovery rolls you can use to replenish your tools too.
Oh, I do. Okay. I'm gonna spend 2 efforts then.
You can only spend 1 level of effort as tier 1 character.
Oh, I will spend 1 level.
Yeah, so 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minus edge if you have edge and intellect.
Okay, so that's number 3.
All right, so that takes you down to a 4, from a 5 to a 4. So 12 or higher.
That's a 7.
Okay, so you're trying to listen, and it's unintelligible. You're not managing to figure out what it is saying. But can I intrude here?
Yes. And I cannot use it because I'm doomed.
That's right. So you can mark an XP.
Oh, I can't take XP from it either.
Oh, that's right. Just like one of the key mechanisms. Right, you're doomed. But I think you've got something else that gets you XP for something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but who would you like to give the other XP to?
I will give the other XP to Moira because science is cool, kids.
Okay, excellent. So, as you're trying to listen and make sense of this, you start to feel very, very sleepy. And you just pass out.
You kadunk.
So everyone sees Nova just fall forward onto the floor and appear to be snoring softly. And then if you examine her eyes are twitching as if she's in REM sleep. Nova, you fall forward, passing out, and find yourself sort of standing in this same room, but you are just staring into a giant floating sphere covered in eyes.
Yes!
And
I love it.
It's got this mass of little very delicate tendrils that hang down below it. Oh. Hello, visitor. You have been temporally shifted. This is installation... how would you describe it? 6724 of the spiral arm. Hey.
I know what that means, but just for continuity's sake, what is this, where am I, and am I dead?
According to, our analysis of the situation, you have been shifted back in time. Above your own planet, approximately 1 billion years.
Oh, well, that's farther than I've gone before. Alrighty then. This is fine. I'm fine. Just out of interest, you don't know anything called Dad AI, do you?
I am sorry, but these parental references are unfamiliar to us.
Okay, that's a good. Well, that's that at least. We didn't really Skynet here.
Although we are the Hularlock, and we are artificially created entities ourselves.
Oh, that's so neat. Couple of questions, if I may be so bold. So 1 billion years is a lot. Is there any way to jump back? 2, why is this crystal phasing different places?
Yes. You see, there was another creature who entered this installation in your own time. This creature, known as the Tragedian, came with some sort of device that malfunctioned this device interfered with the time stream in unknown ways, and when it malfunctioned, it caused this shifting to occur. If
Interesting.
you can find this device and repair it, it should be able to bring you back to your own time.
Well, that's great. Now we have a plan. Also, can I just say, I love everything about you. The eyes, the tendrils, it's all just beautiful.
Yes, this is a manifestation that we constructed out of things we found in your brain.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie to you.
We're actually disembodied entities living within the computational crystal matrix of this installation.
Sure. She like tries to jot it down to ask Moira what that means, and then remembers she's like incorporeal. Like, oh.
The Tragedian was once our prisoner.
Oh.
And somehow escaped its imprisonment.
Okay, so is he monster? He doesn't look. They don't look like an ape, do they?
It can take on many appearances, but this is one that it appears to be currently occupying.
Okay, so how dangerous are they, and how likely are they to try and crush our skulls?
They are somewhat dangerous. Make that very dangerous. Also prone to incredible bursts of violence.
Okay, so avoid the ape. Good to know. So repair the device. We go back from the 1 billion years we have gone back in, and don't piss off the robot ape. We can do that. We're professionals, sort of.
Yes, if you could do this, of course you would find there are many interesting pieces of our alien technology in this installation. And given its ruined nature in your time, presumably long abandoned, you may help yourself.
Thank you. That is so nice of you. But is there anything?
Repairing of this temporal rift would be much appreciated.
Well, you've been so hospitable and nice. That's what we're here to investigate. So of course, let's work in tangent. Quick question as well. Is there anything here relating to the time stream that would give you more information, per se, if someone was a person who could hop through time, hypothetically?
An interesting conundrum. We have never encountered this ourselves. This is perhaps unique.
Well, that's very complimentary and terrifying, all in one sentence. Is there any way I could just pop back and inform my new friends / co-workers?
Oh, yes, of course. It was necessary to bring someone into this, I believe you call it sleep state, in order to communicate. Unfortunately, your brains, when awake, are unable to communicate with us.
Ah, that makes sense. What was
You're
your
not
name
yet
again?
at our level. We are the Hullerlock.
Ah, Hululuk. I'm Nova. Good to meet you. Sorry I didn't introduce myself.
Excellent. Well then, Nova, be well and awaken.
You see Nova just kind of jolt up and go, eyes!
Eyes?
Yes, you have two of them, which we have more or less.
Are you okay?
I know the secrets to this station because a robot put me into its brain. I don't understand how it worked. We're 1 billion years in time.
That would explain the continents.
Yes, that would explain it. I put that together too. Yes, brains. So there's a device in here that is disrupting the temporal flow, and if we fix it, we go back to normal time, and everything restores as one. But also the ape that we saw is the thing that messed with time in the first place, and they are apparently extremely violent and not very friendly, and also were imprisoned here. So no bugging the ape. No stealing from the ape.
Well, do we know where this device is, or is it
Yes,
if
that's
it
what I
was
was going to ask.
if it was the ape's device in the first place? Is it on the ape, or is it nearby somewhere?
Oh, I asked that question, but my brain is just so full of robot noise that I can't pull it out of my memory at the moment. But I definitely asked that question.
Well, do you need to go back to sleep? I mean, I'm sure I like hold up the fire. I'm like, I'm sure I could get this to send you back to sleep if
I just like call them again, like, "Hi, where is it?" I have several thousand more questions. I think we can do this. We are a smart, capable bunch, and the thing is that the hula is tired. The hula hoop is tired right now.
The hula hoop.
Yes,
Is-
the hula hoop.
I
The hula hoop. He has many eyes. They are legion hula hoop, for they are many, and they have tendrils. And they said it was from my brain that the eyes came from, and that does make some sense. But we shouldn't talk about that here. We should go get a drink and talk about that. Anyway, onwards, friends.
all right, so we're looking for some kind of malfunction device.
Exactly.
All right.
Um, you
So
mentioned. Oh,
the other rooms, should we look at those then?
Mimi, don't you?
So there was like a few rooms that you passed in this corridor, but they were all like fairly unremarkable. And then you had the sort of the other two corridors on opposite sides of the installation that you could explore.
Out of curiosity, John, you mentioned the crystal was almost serving as like a security tape, playing back us entering and the
Yep.
Prodigion, or however it's pronounced, running around. Considering we've already in some form accessed the data from the system, would it be possible to try and access it again and basically use these security tapes to find the device?
Well, so you can find a room, but you don't you're not going to recognize any of the rooms.
Okay.
Like you can play it back. I suppose it depends if you're trying to track how far back it goes. So we'll put a difficulty for searching through the data on this. I'm gonna say this is a level 4 intellect task.
Okay. And would things like accessing computers and finding information?
The finding information, yes, you already have the access. This is really just about
gotcha.
Sorting through things. This is the analytics as opposed to the clackety clicking with the keys.
Yeah.
I have something that might help if you'd like some assistance.
Yeah, by all means.
So I have something called lab analysis, and it says I can analyze the scene of a crime, the site of a mysterious incident, a series of explained phenomena, etc., and learn information about perpetrators, participants, and forces responsible. So we know that this ape thing brought the device. So can I use this to sort of help Septum go through the camera footage and analyze everything to look for?
So you're gonna CSI enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make these computers behave like fantasy computers.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and spend the intellect points, and we'll treat that as a asset as you apply essentially a skill to help out.
So that drops it to a 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Finding information and the asset. Okay.
Yes.
I'll go with that then.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
It's not
And
high.
you can apply effort as well if you wish.
Yes, actually, I'll apply effort and then do a recovery roll after this.
That's right. Yep.
So applying effort drops it to a 1.
Yep. So 3 or higher.
That's an 8.
Okay. So you manage to because there's just tons of, and it's all disjointed. It's organized in a very random way, but you manage to sort of find the point at which this ape-like creature entered the installation, and you can see it carrying this, or when it appeared rather, and carrying this large amber cube. And it essentially went to what would amount to that corridor to your right when you had entered the room, and left it in one of those rooms, and then wandered away through the complex.
Okay. Oh, I'm just going to do the recovery roll before I forget. Okay.
And it's a huge cube. I mean, the ape is really big, so it's carrying it pretty easily. The ape is way bigger than any of you, but the cube, when you sort of are kind of measuring it against the dimensions of the rooms and making some assumptions, it's massive. It's 12 feet by 12 feet by 12 feet.
Could I also do a quick recovery roll? I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to try and salvage something from the crystal?
I was. Do recovery rolls mean you?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking cipher recovery rolls as opposed to yes. Yeah, you can spend you want to use one of your longer 10-minute rests or whatever. Absolutely.
Well, excuse me. Goddamn. While they're resting, can I poke around and see if there's anything interesting in here?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you give me just this? You're not sure what the level is in this case, but it'll be an intellect task. You can apply any skills related to perception or searching.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm just gonna roll and see what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
15.
Okay, so when you're poking around, for one, as you're kind of walking by this crystal structure and everybody's interfacing with it, one of the stalks, the crystal that makes up the stalk, there's a cracking sound, and it falls to the floor. And it's pulsing periodically, glowing. It's got some residual energy, and it just falls to the ground. And as you're looting through the room, you indeed find a little piece of crystal. It's a lozenge shaped piece of crystal, amber, glowing periodically. And I am just going to deal you a cipher card. And regardless of how it describes what it looks like, it will look like a crystal lozenge.
Gotcha. Okay.
That you activate it and get whatever effect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a quick question on recovery rolls. Can you choose which recovery roll you use, or does it have to be the action first and then the 10 minutes?
So I believe, I could be wrong, so in Invisible Sun you get to choose. In Cipher I think you actually go through the order.
Okay, so the action first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, I could be wrong, but I'm not going to look it up in the moment.
That's fair.
And then you just roll d6, and it's not like a pool refresh like in Invisible Sun. You roll d6 and add those points back to any of your pools as you need.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Or d6 plus 2, sorry. Alright. Alright, so you sort through those. Nova takes a bit of a rest, and Paris found some shinies. So what are you going to do?
I assume for the sake of expediency, shall we try and move as quickly and get as quietly as we can so we do avoid the giant ape and don't end up being squashed beneath its fists?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. What
Yep.
What will happen if you end up squashed beneath its fist?
The fact that we are temporarily shifted makes that a bit unclear. Normally, emergency systems would activate and the next body would be called into service. The next
Uh-huh.
day, your yield would work and awaken. But us being temporarily shifted calls us into question, I must admit, that my systems obviously would not be established.
You just
Wouldn't be for the next billion years.
you just see Nova's pad has just you've been saying all this and she's been like, uh-huh, uh-huh. Her pad just says he gonna die.
Hmm.
All right. Stealth style. I look at Paris and I'm like, it's your time to shine.
Oh, is it ever? Can I stealth ahead of everybody, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming they have told me which direction the cube is in, by the way.
Yeah,
So I don't
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
turn
Yeah.
around and stage whisper them.
All right, excellent. So, and you, I think, have some special stealthy abilities, correct?
Oh boy, do I. Okay, so I am trained in all stealth tasks.
Okay,
And,
perfect.
I have an asset for all stealth-related tasks from my focus.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So that's effectively reduces the difficulty of any challenge by 2.
Mhm.
In this case, like, you're stealthing against potentially multiple things, right? So there's no fixed challenge level in this case. So we can flip it. We can do the inverse of what we normally do in Cypher, and you can treat each of those as a +3 bonus instead, right? And if you want to spend effort, you'll spend it from your speed pool.
Okay, sure. Just let me quickly look and make sure. Don't have anything else. I don't, but I will spend that effort from speed.
Okay, so you spend 3 points of effort, which again gives you basically another +3 bonus, so you effectively have a +9 on
Gotcha.
this. And then this is easier to track, because anything that could potentially encounter you, I can just look at their level and compare it, multiply it by 3 and compare it to your roll.
13. 21 total.
21 total, okay. Alright, so you
Wait,
sort of...
+9?
Yes, +9.
Sorry, that's 22. I can do math,
22.
I promise.
Yeah. You are an engineer, after all. Alright, so you move ahead. So what does it look like? So you've got your focus, so you've got an asset. So I imagine you probably have, like, a device of some kind, like technology that you use to help you be stealthy, plus you're just sneaky.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like legal or anything, but I really like the idea of like a portable silence field.
Yeah.
Maybe not something significant enough to be of any use for other than like personal carry, but
Yeah. It's not like perfect silence, but it like muffles you activate it, and it just sort of muffles in a very limited, like it produces a weird counter harmonic field around you that sort of just deadens any sound that you make.
Yeah. Because it's manipulating sound and doing whatever stuff, I like to imagine that I myself wear like a pair of like headphones when this is going on.
Yeah, because otherwise you can hear the hum, like this weird disharmonic hum. Yeah, it's like super. Yeah, so yeah. I really like the image of like it's not just like muffler headphones, but you've got it hooked up to music, so whenever you're sneaky and you put on a soundtrack,
just like that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you make your way down the hallway and to this room, and you sort of poke your head in, and you can see sitting in the middle of the room is this 12-foot by 12-foot amber cube that, let me read a bit of a description here, yellow crystalline cube, and it's lying amid a bunch of metallic debris as if it had been dropped from a pretty big height. And basically like destroying whatever it landed on. Like it looks like it fell on tech and there's like shards of crystal and twisted metal everywhere because it's quite heavy. And this big amber cube is cracked. Like there's a noticeable crack in its structure. In the corner of the room and like sort of turned away from you, hasn't heard your approach. You see the giant ape with these like metal implants that are like embedded in its flesh. But it seems to like shimmer a little bit. Like it sort of like phases, like you can almost see through it periodically, and then it sort of like re-solidifies.
Don't like that. How far behind me is everybody?
I'm assuming they gave you pretty good distance. Yeah, because it's not like D&D where everyone's like 60 feet behind you, because that's way too close to stealth. Like you probably like left them back the hallway.
Is there anything else significant in this room?
Not really. Like it's like there's scattered junk, right? Like debris and stuff scattered through the room. The gorilla's like kind of turned away from you and is like doing something, but you can't see what, but you hear like metal, because yeah, you've got like super, I don't know, somehow they pick up the sounds from outside of your fields.
Okay.
It's weird. Maybe there's like a little drone,
Right.
drone mics that go outside your field, so that you're not totally unaware, and you can hear this like it's messing around with something in its hands and like working on something, but it's turned away from you, so you can't see what.
And behind me, there's nothing but like empty space. Like I could run back in that direction and not be obstructed by anything, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Oh boy, everybody. When I take an action rest, does that restore effort?
Well, so your effort you always get to do, right? But
You can only spend one at a time?
That's right. As a tier 1 character, you can only apply one level of effort. As you advance, you can apply multiple levels of effort.
All right, great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to take my little silence field thing, which I imagine is like a small little thing about yay big. I'm going to slap it onto the side of my gun, and I'm going to use Sonic Strange Ammunition. Ranged weapon does sonic damage equal to the level of the cipher for 1 hour, and the level of this thing is 1d6 plus 2.
All right. Do you want to play the? You want to play the card into the field in Roll20?
All right. How do I do that?
Just click on it and then like just drag it into the. So if you just pop up your cards and then drag it in.
Gotcha.
I just gotta see where it is. I don't see it.
I just dropped it in. Do you see it?
I do not.
Let me move it closer to the...
Oh, wait. I think... Let me move... I had you guys on the wrong mat.
Oh. Is my card was on the other mat. I have a different card now.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if I can take the card. And there we go. There we go. So now I can play that so that our viewers can actually see the contents of the card. Alright, so Sonic Strange Ammunition modifies a ranged weapon so that it deals bonus sonic damage equal to the cipher level. Alright, so roll me a d6. and add 2.
Fucking needed. 2. So 4 total.
So 4 total. Okay. So yeah, so you slap this thing on so that when you like fire the gun, it's gonna be silent. All right. So what kind of gun are you using?
I'm using a pistol.
Okay. So that will be like a small pistol or a medium-sized pistol?
Light weapon pistol.
Okay. All right. So that will ease your attack by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it does 2 damage, but then plus the 4, so it'll do 6 damage total. All right.
I don't suppose to get any bonus because it's looking away from me and I've got time to aim.
Oh, you absolutely do. You're gonna get 2 levels of asset which is like maxing out what you can get, which is good. It's a big creature. Its speed defense is 6.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So it's relatively easy to hit. So it's eased by 2 from you shooting it from behind and everything else. So that's at 4, and then it's eased 1 more because of your light weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, are you proficient in light weapons?
I am, yes, as a speaker.
Okay, so that will bring it down 1 more. So what we're at 4, 3.
Yep.
And you can spend a level of effort if you want as well from speed.
You know what? Sure, why not?
Okay, so you spend 3 points from your speed pool, and that reduces you down to a 2, so you only need a 6 or better on your roll.
Alright. Motherfucker, 2!
Alright, so there is no sound as you fire, and this bullet goes and sort of ends up missing it, striking and detonating. The good thing though with like these ciphers is basically it's still like it doesn't get wasted because you missed. It'll still be active until it hits. Or actually no, it's active for an hour, so it works.
I was gonna say.
Okay, so the question is, it's definitely going to notice because like the bullet impacts on the wall and then like emits this like sonic burst. Are you going to try and like when you notice you've missed, are you going to try and like duck out of sight or?
So have the others behind me heard this?
Absolutely. They wouldn't have heard the gun shot.
Yeah.
But because it's this sonic bullet, it emits this like super high pitched hypersonic frequency. So I think everybody heard a noise.
How tall?
Also the gorilla probably starts roaring.
Yeah, how tall is the gorilla and how tall are the ceilings?
The ceilings go up really high. They actually are these weird twisting chambers that go up to the very top of the structure. So it's like cathedral ceilings, but higher. It's like 30 feet high or something. The creature is a good like 12 feet tall. Okay.
Can I use another cipher?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say, so the creature like roars and like turns around.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you make a speed roll against its level.
All right, sure.
So it's a level 7. Its speed defense is 6 because it's big, so it's easy to hit. But it's a level 7 creature. You're trying to beat its reaction.
Would this count as a movement task?
Yes. Kind of specifically, it's initiative, but in this case, we're a little freeformy, so yes, this is a movement task.
Well, that's real bad then, because I have...
You have an inability?
I have an inability in movement tasks.
That's right, so you're treating it like a level 8. It's actually shifted the opposite direction.
Oh no!
So, at the moment, it's impossible for you to beat.
And I don't think there's anything I can do to make it otherwise.
Well, you can spend 1 level of effort. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can't do anything to make it not nuts. Should have thought of it.
So you're fumbling. So you pull out the cipher, and it starts running towards you. It's not going to get to you and be able to act. Like cipher rounds are fairly quick, like 5-6 seconds. and you can only move a fairly short distance and still act. So it's charging towards you.
Yeah.
So your option is at this point, and I'm going to jump back to everybody else and give them to see what they're going to do. It's going to take you folks, depending on what you want to do, how quick you can close. But Paris, right now, you have the choice of stand your ground so that you can use the cipher in the next round, and it's going to close on you. It's going to be in physical hammering distance, or to try and escape.
Well, let me put my card on the board because I think I'm going to do both at once.
Yes, that is entirely possible.
I'm going to use lift, which gives me a 20-foot hover speed, which is 8 feet taller than this ape. I have no lateral control at all, so I just go straight up.
Okay, so excellent. So you won't be able to move far enough to get out of its reach and activate the cipher at the same time. You can only basically move about, I think it's about 10 feet and still have an action. But then the round after that, you'll be out of its reach. So it's only going to get like one attempt at you.
Can I not even move and just use the cipher to go straight up?
So the activating the cipher just gives you a movement speed. So you have to use your movement to move, essentially, to float.
Okay, sure. It says 20 feet around is how the speed I can float.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's a limitation on, you can move that, and yeah.
Yeah. So
that it's because the first round you have to activate the cipher.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna go straight up and see what happens.
Okay. So this is that crystal lozenge you pulled out. I like the idea that to activate it, and you just get a sense when you picked it up, because it's a cipher of how to use it. You have to eat it.
Oh.
It's like a pill.
Oh.
But it's like a horse pill.
Yeah, right.
Big. It's this big crystal lozenge. You just swallow it.
Yeah, try not to think about what it's going to feel like going down, and just go for it.
Yeah. It's it slides down your throat. It's very slick as it slides down, and it seems to become effervescent and sort of sublimate from a solid to a gas as it's sliding down your gullet. So by the time it reaches your stomach, it's just these like gassy bubbles like pervading through you, and you just start floating as it kicks in some sort of like anti-gravity field of some kind. So the ape's gonna like try and swipe at you with these big massive paws. So this is a speed defense task for you.
Is that movement?
That's no.
Okay.
This would not be movement per se.
Good.
Which is good. So it only starts out at a level 7.
Yeah.
So you can spend from your speed pool, and if you have a skill like dodge or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely spend from speed to do it.
Alright. So I'll reduce it to a 6. So you need an 18 or better.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
It is.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything, so I'm just gonna roll and see what happens.
Yeah.
First roll for me the first time. Not so well last. 16, so close.
Alright, so it smacks you hard for 7 points. So you subtract 7 points off your might pool.
Ouch. Ouch.
But then you're floating, and then you're like out of its reach. So everyone else hears a lot of roaring in the corridor. I don't know if Paris was yelling anything before he took the pill.
Yeah, they definitely were yelling.
Yeah. Alright, so what does everyone else do? Are you just gonna sort of charge in after as soon as you heard bestial roaring?
I would assume they'd found the ape, don't you think?
Yeah, you just looks and think, oh, I think that's our person. I think that's we should.
Yeah, it sounds like Paris found the ape.
Yep, sounds like Paris is burning. Let's go.
We should
Paris
go.
is burning. All right, so you start charging. So I'm gonna have everyone make a speed roll to see if you can move like a longer distance than normal.
So I have an
Move
inability
around.
on running.
An inability on what? Sorry.
Running.
Okay, so it is more challenging for you. So I think it's a level 3 challenge to do this. It's not tied to the level of the creature or anything like that. So for you it's a level 4. So you need 12 or higher to succeed. And then you can spend effort if you have a skill in running. It'll reduce it from a 3 to a 2.
I'm going to have to spend effort, I think. Just in case.
Okay. And this is for everyone. This is for Nova and Moira as well.
I got a 7, so.
I'm gonna do this MK Hansen style. I got an 11.
So that's good.
I got a 17.
Okay, all right. So Moira, you're gonna get there like basically a round after everybody else.
She's
and
not a runner.
yeah. So Septum and Nova, you get there sort of just as Paris is like drifting out of this ape's reach. So you just see this like 12-foot tall ape with these like metal implants. And I imagine that Paris, they are bleeding pretty heavily from like the front of their suit is like ripped apart, as you can see these like claw marks that have just like lashed across their torso.
Yeah, I was brought down from my total of 10 to 3. So.
Well, bugger, that can't be good.
Hey, that's our Paris. You back off, you weirdo. What happened to stealth? You back off.
I was in the room. There was the box and the gorilla. I couldn't do anything else.
Do we have
What did you do in the first place?
I shot it.
And as this like the gorilla is now like growling and advancing towards Nova and Septum.
I wonder why when Nova's like, you shot it really loudly.
Yeah.
Do we have an action, or is this kind of it?
Yes, that was my what do you do?
Can I ask, does it look like it's understanding, or it's not so much just reacting to the noise, but does it seem to be intelligent enough to recognize what we're saying?
It appears aware.
I'll give this a try then. So I have an ability, Terrifying Presence. It affects a level 3 or lower target. However, I can spend more intelligence to boost that target's level. So it usually costs 2. I'm going to spend a further 4 to get it to a level 7 target. That's possible. So
Okay.
Is
there a cap on how much you can spend?
I can just keep spending.
Okay.
So it increases the target's level.
Okay.
I'm going to say additional 4 to get it to 6 cost total. 5 intellect. And I'm going to try and use this Terrifying Presence, which is so long as I stand still and just talk, I can convince a creature that I am their worst nightmare. It's short range, and they have to understand me.
Okay. So go ahead and spend your points.
I don't know if it will understand me. I'm going to hope that it will understand me.
It does not understand you. It doesn't speak your language.
Oof.
Well, bugger shit and all the other fucks. I blame you, Nova.
What did I do? I'm just.
You shouted.
I did not shout. I raised my voice in a loud manner.
If I die, I'm blaming you.
Then you die, I'm gonna find your next body.
That was
And
weird. I'm gonna shoot it again.
Paris!
Go ahead, Paris. So it's a level 6 to hit it because it's big.
All right.
And again, so you can spend effort and but we got let's see 2 off the bat, right? Because trained and light weapons, so it's down to a level 4.
Down to level 4. I don't have a heck of a lot of speed left. So now I'm just gonna roll for it and see what happens. That's the wrong die. 19. Hey.
19, excellent. So actually, you're gonna get a special effect. And let me just pull. So it's gonna do extra damage.
All right.
I'm assuming you're probably just going to want to take the extra damage.
Probably. I don't know enough about what my other options are, and I don't really have a desire to slow the game down to find out. So I'll take that sweet, sweet damage.
Yeah, there's like some knockback and stuff like that you can do as well. I'm just trying to remember exactly how much more damage it takes, but you're going to do 4, right?
Yeah, 4.
2 plus 2, 4. And
then 4 extra, so 6 total, right?
Oh, 6 total.
Yeah, 6 total.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because you rolled 2 and it's plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 6. Okay, and then the extra? Yeah, so actually, you just line up this shot and you drill it in the forehead with this sonic bullet, which penetrates, and like as the vibration goes off, it must just like liquefy its brain, and this giant gorilla just like falls to the ground.
We
the
did
extra
it!
damage is enough that it would kill it.
Teamwork!
I'd imagine that this is the point at which Moira finally reaches the door, like, out of breath.
Yeah, and it just slumped over on the ground.
Are you so okay?
Well, I mean, we dealt with Donkey Kong over here, so...
It was a fierce fight, but through the power of friendship and teamwork, we were all able to defeat him. Teamwork. Everyone was a valuable member of this.
I'm just glad I'm not a bloody smear on the wall.
Is Paris still floating?
Yeah.
Yes, but he can, or they can descend.
It's just imagining they're floating and there's like a dead gorilla. And we're just like, we're so professional.
I'm actually going to elect not to go down. I'm just going to like lie down in the air on my back and spend my recovery action.
Yeah, you've got like an hour.
Get some might back. What is
right.
it? 1d6 plus what?
I think it's plus 2.
1d6 plus 2.
While they're doing that, can I try lasso their foot with a rope so I can like pull them along like a balloon?
Yes.
Absolutely, and you can do that. Given the time, you do as you sort of are in the vicinity of this cube, you notice that various bits of like crystal devices around the room and this like rod of crystal that Paris is carrying sort of begin to like produce harmonics in like association with the cube when they're in the vicinity. So through trial and error, you manage to like sort of jury rig repair this device. And so it begins to blend these harmonies back together and resonate. Because the tones coming out of the cube are like super discordant. but you manage to get all these resonances to mix in just the right way to get this harmony to emerge between the vibrating crystals and the cube. And it feeds back on itself louder and louder and louder, like an orchestra rising to a crescendo, and this wave of sound just washes over you. And it pulses, and these cracks sort of start to heal. And then there's this explosion of light, and you stumble, and you're standing back in the airlock with your suits back on. So even if you had sort of disassembled them, Paris's is like just like it was when you stepped off the ship. It has no damage. I need everyone to make a difficulty 3 might defense roll.
Oh my.
I'm using a...
Well, so it's a difficulty 3, and yeah, you can spend effort.
I'm just gonna roll and see what happens.
That's an 11.
Okay.
20.
And
Another
20.
natural one.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
you get a
God.
critical
I
critical
got
success.
22!
And at 20? Okay, so Nova and Paris come back like perfectly in sync, like supra-normally in sync. Paris, like all of your pools are refreshed. Actually, both of you, all of your pools are refreshed. As you sort of, however you manage to like merge back with your temporal self and reintegrate. And Septim is fine. Moira is out of phase. Actually, she doesn't appear till several minutes later after all the rest of you do. So you spend several minutes of just like, where's Moira? And when she finally reappears, she's like jittering and somewhat insubstantial and like totally out of sync and out of phase. She has been subjected to temporal distortion.
Your body's out of phase!
Yeah. But so out of phase, like she actually cannot interact with physical matter.
So am I still that way?
Yeah, like you reappear a few minutes later, and then it's like, until you get this fixed, like you can't interact with anything particularly.
So we have like a hand in front and like watch it pass through, and I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, you can like interact with yourself, and you're not like falling through Titan or anything. You might be able to like be in the ship. There is some interaction with the rest of matter of the universe, but it's very faint.
Is there anything that's like particularly dense on this ship? Like, you know, maybe they could hold on to like something that's like partially leaden. If you can pass through things, it's probably harder to pass through dense things. That's what I'm thinking.
Probably, yeah. There is something.
Yeah.
Thought, no idea if this would work, but we know that the flower thing had like some sort of molecular binding ability. Is it possible for me to like go back there with someone and sort of instruct them and how to like tweak this?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, the structure itself has now like it's not there anymore. This like crystalline tower has like faded out, and now you're just like on the surface of Titan. But you do have data and various other things.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna try to replicate that effect if possible with someone's help.
Yeah.
Who's not out of phase.
Yeah. Sometime in the future, you can meet with the Project Watchtower eggheads and get yourself sorted back out. But we will end there for the night, as you have explored an interesting area and discovered some things about time and space and returned to your own time. So all characters can mark 2 XP on their sheets. and we'll go around and sign off, and you can remind people anything you have coming up and what your favorite moment of the night was. So let's start in the reverse order and start with Alex.
Right, everyone. I'm Alex. You can find me on Twitter at AxolotLCure. What am I doing? On Monday nights, at least for the next 2 Monday nights, I'll be concluding a D&D 5e game set in the city of Ravnica. It's been a long, hard road to get here, and can't wait to see how it ends. And I play on Saturday nights, though not this Saturday night, in the Invisible Sun game, which is returning next Saturday. And I can't wait for that either. It's been way too long.
Yeah, I forgot about a beer fest, so our 5-week hiatus has turned into 6.
It's fine. We've got plenty of weeks.
It's true.
Favorite moment. I liked all of the documentation on Septim. I have not participated in this game before, so I don't know why this is happening. My character doesn't know why this is happening. It's really fun.
That's excellent. I like it. All right, continuing around in the reverse order with Sam.
Hi, Sam. You can find me on Twitter as Eldritch Warlock. Where will I be appearing? Let's see. This Saturday, hopefully, there will be the finale of a one-shot that became more over on the RPG Lab that I'll be running. After a few delays, we're hoping to finally do the finale. That'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I believe. If I've got my time zones correctly. This coming Sunday is the return of the old myths here on Variant Roles at time is that? I want to say 3 p.m. Eastern. I think that's right.
Yes, 3 Eastern.
Eastern, thank you. So that'll be session 1 of season 2, actually, of the old myths, and that'll be as said this Sunday here on Variant Roles. And then for the foreseeable Mondays, actually, for the foreseeable future on Mondays, I should say, I also appear on the RPG Lab at 2 p.m. Eastern for a new campaign called The Company.
Excellent. Sounds interesting.
As for favourite moment, I have to give it to Nova being molecularly bonded to the crystalline flower.
Like a kid who stuck their tongue on a cold metal pole.
That was the exact mental image I had of it, and I just loved it.
Yeah, she was going to get bonded either way, but when she said that she stuck her tongue out to touch the tendril, I was like, oh, perfect. Perfect, Val. Thank you for making my job easy. All right, Danielle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle, Rakentor on Twitter. As far as things going on Saturdays at 8, I play in the other Invisible Sun game that's streaming on at Other Doc's channel, where I play a wonderful, charismatic weaver. And starting on Tuesday, I will be DMing a game at 6:30 Eastern at Scraticus's channel. It's called The Choir of Elements, and it's going to be set largely in the elemental planes. Very fun. Come watch. And then in a couple of weeks, I will be starting Dungeons and Deductibles Season 2, my fantasy insurance claims adjusters game, which will be airing now on Variant Roles Wednesdays at 7:30. And as far as favorite moment goes, definitely has to be Nova meeting the Hula Hoop Legion.
Excellent. Yeah, my favorite moments, I'm going to cheat Chintz out and say everything, because it was all great, and I like playing with all of you, so that's always fun. I just want to thank Monty Cook Games for their support in helping promote our shows and retweeting and all of those sorts of things. Thank all of you for coming in and watching and being active in chat. That's always exciting, and I'd say half to 75% of the reason I enjoy streaming is, when you interact with chat during the game, makes it quite enjoyable. And other than what people have already named, so we're moving into a fairly busy period. I think starting next week, there is something on Variant Roles every day except Friday, which is fantastic for the next couple of weeks. So Saturday, we won't be here with As the Suns Burn, but there's, I believe the Fall of Magic game is back this week. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Our Saltmarsh Tamaraut's Fate returns for the final 2, and that starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's DM'd by Anders, who's going to close out that before we continue on to the next Saltmarsh adventure. Sunday, Old Miss was already said. We got Gothic Brunch returning as well, and that's going. I think Val's in that, and many of the people in chat. That starts at noon Eastern. We've got Ravnica, DMs by the wonderful Alex. That's on Mondays. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do have a special secondary Saltmarsh game that's starting on Monday as well. That's going to be DM'd by Corey. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern, doing the Isle of Abbey over the next couple of weeks on Mondays. Tuesday of next week, we have the premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern of From Us Came Dusk, which is going to be a Dungeon World game DM'd by Technoscald, or GM'd. Next Wednesday, we've got part 2 of the Small Arms, the Artificer Short Shot series. And we've got on next Thursday, right, premiering A Haunted Whisper as well, right, Sam? With you?
Yes, next Thursday. So
Yep.
that would be, just double check dates.
15th.
Yep, the 15th.
Yeah, so I'm leading into the stuff that's all next week, since we basically got Saturday to finish off this next week here. And Friday we've got a break, and then again next Saturday, and I'll be back with, we'll be back with some more mixtape next week. We're going to do a couple of episodes, I think, of Invisible Sun starting next week. Doing it for 2 weeks. Because then Val is going to close out the end of the month doing a couple of episodes in the time slot of a bunch of American werewolves in London. Yeah, excellent. So there's a whole bunch of content. Follow us. If you don't follow us already, follow us here on the channel. If subscribing is a thing you do, hit the subscribe button. That money all goes into supporting the channel in general. We have a Patreon, we've got a YouTube, the links are all below that you can follow us across all social media. And the best place to keep track of what's going on is to follow us on Twitter. And I am still promoting until this time next Thursday, when I will close applications for Project VHS, my Void Horror in Space game that will be premiering at the end of September. That's going to be a Cypher System game, going to run for about 12 weeks through the fall. And if you like tentacles, if you like weird, if you like science fiction, and you like horror, you should apply, because all those things will be there. So this has been us, and thank you all for joining us. I'm going to set up a raid, and we're going to raid Unmade Gaming, because a bunch of our friends from Phantom Roll Booth are over on Unmade Gaming for Men of Letters.
Dan, has Val said her goodbyes yet?
Oh, did I skip over you, Val? I am sorry.
Listen, I was being a stealthy rogue in the background, just like blending in. No one saw me. I'm good. Bye.
Thank you very much, Alex. That was rude of me, as I normally go at the end, and totally, I think going in the circle and the missing thing just missed it. So, Val,
The
please,
flu was beautiful.
things that I didn't already promote for you, and your favorite moment.
I put it in chat, but oh yeah, hi, I'm the Nerdy Niffler on Twitter. I just post D&D content and general British sarcasm. And my favorite moment tonight, I put it in chat, was 100% the Paris shooting at the ape, missing, floating away, and then headshotting whilst we were all like, what is happening? And this all happened in like the space of like 2 minutes, and it was just a beautiful image in my head. And also our new AI friend, Hula Hoop Legion.
Hula Hoop Legion. I like that. Excellent. All right, I am going to set up the raid, and thank you all, and good night.